All right, so welcome back to the channel. I haven't done a full update or walk around on the truck yet, so that's what I'm gonna do today. Frank and I are loaded up in the Power Stroke, and we're gonna take it down the highway and some backcountry roads, and I'm gonna do a little more of a review on it and kind of go through the truck in its entirety. Again, I'm not a diesel expert or anything like that, but I'm really gonna try to get to know this this brand and this model because again, this is gonna be a keeper for me, so I'm gonna have to do a lot of my own maintenance and whatnot. So yeah, we're just gonna jump right in. It's alive. All right, so this is an appropriate time to start off with the driving experience. I don't have too much experience with driving older diesel style trucks. I've driven the comparable 97 or I think 98 Cummins 2500. And you know, everything I've done research wise, I'll just do a little pull there. All right, that was not foot to the floor. I don't want to put too much stress on it before it gets warmed up. But no, again, it makes ample power. The speedometer's off. I'm really going 50, even though it says it's going 60. It's got a lot of torque. Obviously, it's a diesel. I think these made 400 or something factory. This one does have a tune on it. I've got all the tune settings up here. For the hydro tune, I'm not going to mess with any of that yet. Again, that's just really not in the books of what my use really entails for this truck. You know, cabin space is great. Again, plenty of power. Cruise is great on the highway. You know, it doesn't cruise at a low enough RPM, like 70 or 80. But if you're going 70 or 80 in this thing, you're absolutely drinking down fuel anyway. So it's probably not something I'm going to do that often. You know, you just kind of want to get things warmed up and take it easy because it is an old truck too. I'm not out here dropping chains or anything. I want this thing to last, and I want it to be as functional as it can be for as long as it can be, honestly. And I think that's the intended purpose here. But yeah, again, plenty of space. It drives normally. Brakes are great. You know, actually the brakes in my other F-250 are pretty good as well. They're very instant. They don't feel over boosted or anything like I felt in some Chevys. So no complaints with the braking, stopping, or steering power. It's a long truck, and you know, it definitely moves on the highway. You know, I think you know, it's got a lot of presence and power, and when you put your foot down, she moves. It takes a second to kick down. But once it gets moving, she'll scoot. And she'll scoot smoothly too. Again, you know, there's not a lot of drama or anything. And you can just drive it like an auto-lifted 4x4, and it's great. What do you think, Frank? Frank, what? Like the truck? So we're headed out of Richmond right now. I'm trying to find a spot down the road here. I haven't tried putting it in 4 high or low to find a gravel surface, so that's where we're on our way now. This is Route 5 going out of Richmond. Usually 55 mile-an-hour speed limit. This is probably where this thing likes to be the most. Just cruising between 50 and 60. A little less than 2,000 RPM. Seems pretty happy. Alright, almost getting to the spot. You know, it's got a 5-inch exhaust on it, which definitely will drone a little bit. Not the end of the world. I would like to get the speedometer kind of sorted. It is kind of annoying being 10 miles an hour off. That's that's kind of a large difference there. But you know, I also got to remember that this truck does have 410 gear ratios in the back, so that's also probably leading to you know, slightly higher RPMs than I'll be used to with this type of travel. All right, so we made it. Yeah, so here's the full daylight walk around of the truck. Tires are about 4 years old, good tread. Paint's okay. Again, we've got the bubbling right here and the paint right there. Topper is original with the truck, has a little bit of paint peel. The rest of the paint's not bad. I'm gonna start with the exterior here first. Some fading on the hood, you know, a couple little touches here and there, but that's not too bad. This worn bumper is what sold me on the truck. It's awesome. It looks great. I got nothing bad to say about that. The winch works. I didn't think it was gonna work. It doesn't roll out on its own. You have to manually spool it out, and then it'll roll itself back in. What else on the exterior? This side's a little bit better. Again, you still have the same rust marks. 2 tanks, both tanks work. Tailgate's not too rusty. Topper has a key. Has a bed liner. Again, I have the, I guess these are some of the original rotors and a couple AC compressors. It does have some Ford add-ons like this old school step, which is pretty neat. Good little touches. You know, not something I buy, but definitely an added bonus that it's in there and on it. Definitely not assisted tailgate. Tow package, heavy duty tow kit. This truck does have 410s apparently, if I look at the build sheet. Relatively, it's definitely not rust free. I'm not gonna go that far. It's less rusty than other ones that I found and saw. I treated the driver's side with the Eastwood stuff so far. It's not bad. I'll give you a full look on the underside. Just a little bit of surface rust here and there. It all can be treated, nothing terminal. So again, that's really where you want to start in the baseline when you're going off these old Fords and old Chevys and whatnot for that matter. I mean, rust is what kills these things. Jump on the roof, a little bit of fading there, but not bad. It's got the roof lights, which I like. I mean, it just makes this thing look way meaner than it should be. Front end, not bad, not too rusty. I mean, obviously some of the bushings and whatnot could be freshened up, but at this time, not terrible. I'll show you the frame that on this side that I haven't treated yet. Again, not bad. It's just surface rust. It'll scrape off. Rear end looks good too. I'll scrape the rest of that off and treat it so it doesn't get any worse. You know, but all the major components are good. Again, I didn't want a perfect truck. I wanted a project. I wanted something I wouldn't be afraid to drive, and I think that's exactly what I got here. For those who want to know what I paid for this, paid around $10,500, which I think was fair. It's got 200,000 miles. It's a one-owner truck. I've got all the original paperwork, documentation, 2 keys, 2 clickers, you know, the whole 9 yards. So again, is it perfect? No. Is it pretty good for the money? Yes. I'm going to sell a couple of my other cars. It'll help cover this cost. Get this thing baselined and go from there. I don't really think there's a whole lot else to really say about it. I mean, it's going to be a decent project. I went through all the driving stuff. This is really just the walk around to show you the current state of the condition. You know, I might freshen up the front end with some clear glass or some just less foggy lenses. I'll let me pop the hood here real quick. That took way too long. All right. Yeah, again, 7.3 turbo diesel. Lots of newer bits and bobs, parts on here. Very healthy motor, a lot of power. Looks like a newer AC compressor, K&N filter, dual batteries. You know, it's just an honest engine bay, just how you want to see it. It's not all freshened up and shined up and whatnot. It's just kind of as is and loud. Yeah, that's what I got on the exterior. So, jump back up in the cab again. Captain's chairs, original tape deck, AC and heat seem to work. It's got the center console, which I like. This is the first older vehicle I think I have that has cup holders, so that's great. I got a couple extra starter solenoids. You know, this is not the base model, so I've got some interesting little touches here. You know, this was the beginning of trucks becoming slightly less more of just the implementations or farm equipment. So, you know, it's got, you know, what you need to use it as more than just a piece of farm equipment. Tow package, you got a trailer brake controller, a couple outlets, which is nice. A lot of the original books and manuals. These are pretty interesting, and you know, usually they're lost between the owners and whatnot. So all stuff I'm gonna have to go through at a later time. You know, it's an XLT, so I have slightly different door cards, power windows. The previous owner added a couple gauges, not really my thing, but they work. You know, trans temp, turbo temperature and whatnot, and then the tune. So here's the stats on the tune. It's a Hydra tune. You can mess with it all day if you want to roll coal or do some yeet stuff. It's not really my thing, but it's good to know, good to have if in case I do want to mess with it. I'm gonna have to do some research, figure out the least impactful tune that could be useful for anything without putting too much strain on the internals. Headliner's pretty decent. Frank fits in the back. The back seat's not too terrible. Looks like no one's ever sat back there. Carpets could be cleaned up a little bit. What else? I think that's about it. Cruise control works. Overdrive works. Very functional. Again, both tanks work, so that's a big plus. Got another 1,000 miles on the current oil change, and yeah, that's really about for the inside. Let's take in the gravel here and test out the four-wheel drive functions. All right, so here's your four-wheel drive knob. Luckily, this is not an electronic or anything like that. You can shift four-wheel high on the fly, I believe, but I'll drop it in neutral. Pop it into 4 high. Dash is lit up. And drive. Feel that out. You can definitely feel the front wheels a little heavier. But that's good. Usually a lot of these old trucks, that light's not illuminated, so it shows you it's functioning. And the previous owner, at least exercised the four-wheel drive in the transfer case every once in a while to ensure functionality, which is good. And now I'm gonna go for 4 low, which might take 2 hands. Back down to neutral. Push down. All right, there it is. Low range. She's all lit up. Back into drive. You can definitely feel the higher ratios. It's always good to test your 4 low. If you don't use it, you lose it. So get that worked out every once in a while. So that's that passes. All right, gonna go ahead and oh man, wants to fight the brakes there. Put it back into neutral. Pop it out, put it back up into 2-wheel, lights off, back into drive, and we're good to go. Well, all right. I mean, that's really all I wanted to do as far as the walk around and whatnot for the big old diesel truck. First off, matter of business, I'm probably going to mess with and get the temp sensor working again, because that's kind of important. It's not an old Range Rover, I trust the temp, but again, something I'm going to address immediately. I don't want to let that go. And that's it. So this is this is the truck. It's going to be a long-term project, so I'm definitely going to be doing lots more videos on it. Please feel free to subscribe and check out the rest of the channel. Thanks, guys.